Jaws lie, baby. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
All right. Hey. Hello.
Hey.
Happy Thursday, everybody out there.
Friday.
How's everybody doing?
Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving.
Hey.
Yeah. Very nice.
I'm still
Very nice.
I'm still on the sweet potato casserole hangover.
Seems like Thanksgiving was only 4 days ago.
Were the marshmallows on top?
I actually do a pecan brown sugar crust on the top.
Oh, that's even better.
Ooh.
That
Ooh.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
to combat the tryptophan? Is that what that does? Kind of,
No. Actually, I think I contracted diabetes with it just baking in the oven already by the smell. So
That's all it happened to me.
it was good.
I love it.
Yeah. I hope everyone else had a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Good.
Wonderful time.
Good deal.
Wonderful time.
Good.
Yeah. Great holiday. And we have a full house tonight. I mean, look at this. We have an entire screen full of people here tonight. We have two really, really special guests joining us tonight. And this is something that I've been really excited about for quite some time. So it's great to see this come to fruition. Glad we were able to bring these people together. So we have two really important guests tonight. We have Matt Taylor joining us, and you guys should know who Matt Taylor is, because if you own a copy of this book, then you know who Matt Taylor is. And a lot of people have a copy of this book. So Matt Taylor is joining us tonight, as well as Paul Preiser. And if you happen to have a copy of this book, and yet a different one yet, but we'll talk about later, then you definitely know who Paul Preiser is, because you've seen his work. These two guys are very, very welcome, guys. Nice round of applause. You guys coming on here. We are very excited to have you join us tonight and talk about something that is really important to a lot of people.
I'm not going to let you book shame me. So, yeah.
There you
I
go.
want that copy. I want
That's
that.
the one I have. Yes.
Yeah. I wish I had that, man. Matt, hook me up, Matt. Hook me up.
Call me later.
Back here somewhere.
We can negotiate.
Yeah.
Money's not an object.
I think I've got about 4 of them in my basement.
For real?
Of that
No
original deluxe
kidding.
edition,
Oh,
yeah.
don't
tell you,
tease me, man. Don't
Man,
tease.
they
I've
are
got
getting
2 kids,
scarce.
so they're
Yeah.
accounted for.
Yes.
You got
They're
it.
getting scarce across eBay and other places. Yeah, they're very, very sought after. And Mike, I know the first book came out 2011. Am I right by that?
Yes.
Yeah.
2011 was the original book, and just what you've seen here. Those original 2 copies, the paperback copy, which is the one I have there on the left, and the special edition hardback came out at that time. And so, Matt, obviously you have to be a big Jaws fan to take on something like this. What motivated you to kind of cross over from being a fan to really taking on such an active role? Because I mean, this is such a comprehensive piece of media. There had to be some serious drive, because I can't imagine this was something you just contemplated and threw together rather quickly.
I think for me, it was, my mother is a 14th generation native of Martha's Vineyard. So I grew up coming here every summer, as Paul did. And for me, I love Martha's Vineyard history, New England history in general. And it was something. I was a history major at UMass and trying to figure out, I had always wanted to get into writing and publishing and do a book at least, and trying to figure out what aspect of local history I should cover. And that just seemed like an obvious thing. And right around the time I was dabbling in different ideas about what to write about, I met Jim Beller through Christy Kingsbury Henshaw, whose father was in the movie. She's just a family friend, and she had mentioned that I ran into her, and she mentioned that this guy had been coming down collecting photographs, and that you ought to pair up with him if you're looking for something to write about local history. Call this guy Jim Beller. He's got this whole collection of Jaws photos, and she knew I liked the movie because before her dad Craig died, who played Ben Gardner in the movie. I used to go by their house and visit with Craig, and he and I would talk about the film. And so she knew I liked it and that I was a fan of the film. And so I got talking to Jim, and he said, "Yeah, well, I've been thinking about trying to find a writer to put all these to put this history together with these photos that I've been compiling." And so that was sort of like how it began, meeting Jim through Christy. And then I'm not sure if we even knew it was going to be a coffee table book really at that time. It was like, at one point we were talking about doing a calendar of like Edie Blake's photos with like some random memories thrown in by Edie Blake and Joe Alves and just a few people that we knew at the time. And then it just kind of snowballed once I really dedicated myself to the project, because I lived on the island. I had just moved back after finishing college. So I was here year round, and I knew all these people that worked on the film, and I could just go to their doors. Whereas Jim was in Rhode Island, he could only come down once in a while. So I could just go knocking on people's doors. And like right away, I started finding more and more and more and more photos and more stories. And, who's got another shoebox of photos? Go call Eric. Eric, right? He was over in Vineyard Haven. And Eric would have 5 shoeboxes full of photos and negatives. And it just snowballed. And pretty soon it was like, okay, this can't be like a calendar or a paperback. This should really be a big coffee table book. And there was... has anybody seen the? I don't think I've ever even mentioned this. There's a book called Belushi by John Belushi's, like his biography done by Judy Belushi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a hardback. It's about yay big, not a coffee table book. And that was I love that book. And that was sort of the look that I was going for initially. And then I got a copy of a book I think it's called Sealed with a Kiss. And it was about written by Lydia Criss, the wife of Peter Criss, the drummer for Kiss. And it's a big coffee table book, and it's her entire photo collection taken throughout the 70s when Kiss was at their peak. And it was so visual and so just heavily illustrated with photos faded into the background with the text over and the text wrapping around photos and that scrapbook look. And that blew my mind. I loved it so much. I said, this is how I want the book to look. And so that's why it looks the way it does. And why it's that heavily illustrated, because of that book Sealed with a Kiss. So if anybody has a chance to check it out, it's an amazing book. And you can definitely see the similarities between the two. If you like Jaws and Memories and you see that book, you'll say, I see where they got that idea from.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, think of all books to draw motivation from. That's pretty interesting. That kind of spiked your interest. And Paul, Paul's got a great story he's going to share with us towards the end. But Paul, you've got a tie-in with Martha's Vineyard as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Matt, I've been going to Martha's Vineyard my entire life. Pretty much every summer of my life, I've been there, and it started. My grandfather actually bought a house there, beachfront property in 1937. He was an artist and used to summer there on Martha's Vineyard and do watercolor paintings mostly. And he was part of the Edgartown art community for many, many years and painted between, basically when he got there up until the 80s when he passed away. Finally. But he's well known to, a lot of the vineyarders that have been there for many years, because his paintings are everywhere, and once you start seeing them, you'll recognize them because they definitely have a distinctive style. But anyway, I've always loved Martha's Vineyard, and, my family has loved the vineyard, and we've been, lucky enough to spend many, many summers there. Unfortunately, we had to sell the house a few years back because it got a little complicated with 7 families owning it. Things just being what they were, we had to liquidate at that point, unfortunately. And
if you're a fan of Jaws, you know the house he's talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, basically the house that was shown in the breakaway dock scene was my grandfather's house.
Wow.
And
incredible.
Unbelievable. unfortunately, I wasn't there when they shot the scene because we typically went up in August, so I missed it. But I really
Where'd you live at the time, Paul? New Jersey or
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's from New Jersey. I don't know what's going on. Where in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, actually, no. Let me think about this. No, in '74, I was living in Pennsylvania. Actually, I lived in Bethlehem at that point.
Oh, okay. Of course, Allentown area. Yeah, sure.
We did move to New Jersey a few years later, but no, in '74, I was in Bethlehem, and I can actually pinpoint the exact day that Jaws entered my consciousness, and that was I actually had to look this up today because I didn't know the actual date, but it was April 8th, 1974. And it happened to be the same night that we heard about this movie being filmed up there. It was the same night that Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record.
yes.
Record. Yes.
Which
Okay,
was
Al Downing.
8th of April, 1974. It was a Monday night, and it was a 53-year record by Babe Ruth that was broken that night. And it was also the night that I heard about Jaws for the first time. And my grandfather, luckily, was thinking about his grandkids when he said yes to the filmmakers up there that had gone around asking residents if they would mind if their property was used, and everyone except my grandfather said no. Luckily, he said yes, and the rest is history.
So he's referring to all the houses along a strip of Oak Bluffs known as Hart Haven.
Yeah, so Hart Haven.
They all have beachfront
The
property
beach.
houses
They're
up on the hill.
4 or 5 houses along there, and my grandfather was the only one that gave the okay,
Wow.
which was great.
So off-topic question, then we'll get back on the topic with the books. But I often have come across people making the remarks and trying to make the distinction that when you watch that scene and you look at that house, it is the same house that was used to film the Amityville Horror movie. I'm going, guys, it is not. Oh, no, it is. Look at the windows. I said, yeah, Robin, those windows are in the northeast.
Yeah, no.
Well, yeah, it's got
That's right.
it's a Gambrel style cape. It looks the roof line is just like it.
Just like it. And
Yeah.
I have had people try to argue with me and say, no, it's the same deal. It was a movie. I said, I viewed that house several times. I take people to see it. And I said, not the same house. And so I was curious if you ever heard that. You ever heard that story?
I have never heard that.
I have read that. I have had an argument over that. I'm like, no, it is not. It is not movie magic. It's an actual house, And
If Amityville had been shot there, I would know.
exactly.
Yeah, the movie was shot in Toms River, New Jersey. That's where they shot the movie.
Yeah.
The actual house is in Long Island, but they shot it in Toms River.
That's right. I had a lady argue with me that the movie was shot on Nantucket Island once at the post office too. So this just goes to show you people just not quite sure what they believe. So anyway, I just was curious about that. It's something I always struck me as funny. So, so back over to the book. So the book came out in 2011. I want to say I picked up my copy like around 2014. I think was when I got it first, and it was just. Matt, it for me and for a lot of people, it's one of those things, you say it's coffee table, but it's what it is. It's the book that you keep out. It's the book that you sit and go back through. I sit and go through the book for ideas. I sit and go through the book because with the wealth of knowledge and the writing and the photos you have in there, you can go through this book hundreds of times and you're going to come across maybe something you haven't really hit in detail that you did before. And so that's your book really stands out and has really held very well at the time. Because to be honest with you, that's it. This is it. You could, and I'm not trying to bring religion into it. You could consider this is the Bible of Jaws for an awful lot of people, Matt. And you have to, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, but you have to realize that. And it's why I've been after you to get you on here, because we are all incredible fans of this book. And so I hope that your memories between 2011 and now have been fairly favorable with the book, because at least on our side of things, I don't know anyone that is not a big fan of your book.
Oh, thank you
So
for
has it-
saying that. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope it's done well for you on your end of things over the years as well.
Yeah. I'm glad
Yeah,
I did it.
If I could say something, before I even knew Matt, I was a fan of this book as well. Now I'm just pulling some Post-it notes out. I bought this copy
Mm-hmm.
signed by Matt before I knew Matt at the
Oh,
Funky
wow.
Grapes
No
bookstore in Vineyard Haven. The year it came
No
out.
kidding.
So yeah, so that's my original copy right there.
Yeah, I have that. That's the original copy I have, Matt. By the way, Matt, just to let you know, I own 5 copies of your book. The original paperback, then there was a revised paperback. Then I bought the hardcover in September. Then I bought another hardcover and left it wrapped. And now I bought the exclusive edition that I can't wait to unpack. And as a Jaws fan, I want to thank you, man, because it is the best book on Jaws
Yeah.
ever made. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
Jaws Log is in a different category by itself. But if you want to check out a book about the making of Jaws with the best pictures, the best everything, this is the ultimate book on Jaws. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have a question.
And,
I have a question for Matt. With so many people that have picked up the book and you've had autograph sessions or whatever, what is the one word that they describe that? I mean, Nate said it was a Bible, but I have another word for it. I'm just curious what people have said to you.
It's been a while. I'm not sure. I don't remember anything. I've heard the word Bible used before, but what was the word you were gonna throw out?
To me, as a Jaws fan, looking into it and knowing all these wonderful people that I've become now friends, to me, it was more like a yearbook. This was a yearbook of all of these people in different eras or different times of making that film. And you got to see the behind the scenes. And to me, that's what it felt like.
That's a good word.
You know,
Yeah, I might have been. I might have been subconsciously thinking about a yearbook or like even like a high school yearbook when I put it together. Yeah.
Because when you said about the graphics and the words and everything, that is what a yearbook would be to me. And that's what this was. So I was sitting there just looking at it, ignoring my ex-husband, but I was just sitting there looking at it and I'm like, this is like a yearbook. This is just like he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at the book you just bought me. And he said, is it a yearbook? I said, if you look at the behind the scenes, you get to see the cast and the crew, not as their characters, but as ourselves. And that's what I find more intimate about it. And that's why I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, well, great. Glad to hear it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So fast forward and the anticipation for all of us for the last number of years now, gearing up for, the next big anniversary for Jaws, slowly starts to creep up on us, and it's in the back of everyone's mind. At what time did you think, you know what, I might be able to improve on this? I might be able to further what I've already done, and maybe look at making some changes to this.
Yeah, I think it was about 2019 or 2020. I had communicated. Well, I should say, my wife and I self-published the first edition, and
oh, no kidding,
the one with the blue cover somebody held up a minute ago. And by the way, that cover was, that was a very rushed cover.
There it is.
We were out of time. We had to hit the print button. We didn't really have the cover that the quintessential cover for this book. I just didn't have time. And a year later, when Titan purchased the publishing rights, we got to do a really cool cover with Eric Hollander. He did the one to the buoy in 2012.
Yeah.
So a year after the original release, we did the cover with the buoy when Titan bought it. And then, sorry, I forgot the question. Where was I going with that?
That's all right. No, so it's like, what made you decide? I feel like I could make improvements because, in my mind, even sitting as I was going through my original edition and going through the ultimate, as I go through the original, going, oh my gosh, the wealth of information and photos. I'm thinking to myself, you had to through, yeah, like. So when did you decide, and what
Okay.
really decided you? What made you think, I have enough? I could really make a difference in this.
So right after the original edition came out, I started hearing from a lot of people who worked on the movie that I just couldn't find or get a hold of, or they didn't want to talk to me and share their photos and stories with me because they didn't know me. Then the book came out, and all of a sudden they were willing to talk, and all of a sudden I started getting more and more photos, and that was going on for 10 years.
Wow.
And I really wanted
Wow.
to get a chance to incorporate them into the book and make it maybe a little better. One thing I really wanted to improve upon was the addition of more color. I wanted more color photos, and I got a lot of them over the past decade. Crew members sent me their photos and slides, and a lot of them color, and you'll see a lot of them in the new edition. So I really wanted to kind of get under the hood and tweak things, and maybe make it a little less scrapbooky. I wanted a little bit more of a separation between the photos and the text. The original edition, they were very kind of married. You had the text wrapping around the photos, and the photos faded into the background or the text over. And that,
Sure.
and I love that look, but I thought maybe the stories would pop a little more and the photos would pop a little more if there was a little bit more separation, a little more white space. And that was one thing that as I maybe matured a little bit through the years as a designer, I wanted to do more and more. And had always hoped to get a chance to, like I say, get under the hood and tinker with things and make it a little different, and incorporate the new photos and the stories of all these new crew members that I got to know after the book came out, who reached out to me after the book came out. And so, yeah, when Titan, the publisher, contacted me, it must have been like around COVID, they floated the idea of doing a new edition for the then still, 5 years away, 50th, but I mean, I didn't know how much time I would need. So at one point we were talking about starting even back then. And we didn't end up starting until 2023. But anyway, 2020 was around the first time I began hearing about, would you like to redo the book for the 50th? And
Sure.
got the official green light to do it. I think it was like October of 2023.
Oh, wow. Okay. So fairly recent. Yeah, and I have a copy of that cover. And when did it actually get released? Then was it during the summer of this year?
It was not released until, unfortunately, it wasn't. We weren't able to get it printed in time for like June, so it was released on September 2nd.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, holiday season is here, and there's a lot of people are going to be tuned in and checking that out. So I'm going to make sure by the end of the show, people have links and definitely know where to track this down. Matt was kind enough to send one of these copies our way, and I have been spending an awful lot of time just going through and sitting side by side with him. It's pretty mesmerizing. In fact, Matt, why don't I pull up just a quick? I took a couple video clips, just maybe showing some of what you've been talking about. Let me just just simply starting from the very beginning. Let me just pull in a clip here for you, real quick, and feel free to talk over it. I don't have any audio on these clips. Here's just a comparison of the original book compared to the new book. And just kind of seeing just some of those subtle differences. It just travels from there. Let me pull it in here. So you can see me paging through some of the pages of the original. I believe up to the introduction and the forward, and then I come down and see, and just right off the bat, that alone, really, yes. And the coloration between the two, Paul, amazing job. Even recoloring some of the pictures that were in the book before, really a discernible difference with the clarity of it and the striking of it standing out. And you can see the difference in the pages and the additions. And I literally stopped at the exact same spot in both books, the forward, and it's exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul and I collaborated pretty much every day for a little over a year on the new edition.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, maybe I'll just take a minute to real quickly just tell about how I met Paul. Since we were just talking about the design, obviously Paul's a big part of that. When we did the deluxe edition, we had the idea to do a deluxe edition, including a piece of the remnants of the breakaway dock from Hearthaven. And when I was researching who owned the property, I had to find out who owned the property to get permission to go down there and cut one of the pilings out of the sand. And I found out who the family members were who owned the house back when the movie was made, and it was the Prizer family. And Paul's name was given to me by one of the neighbors in Hearthaven, and so he was the one I just happened to call to ask if he knew if he could introduce. I was trying to, because it was only, the house is occupied only in the summer months, and this was like in the fall or winter. I was trying to find out who lived there to get permission. I thought Paul might have their contact info, and that's how I got talking to him. And he said, "Well, I'm a designer." And then, so Paul and I jumped in, I guess, late fall of 2023 and worked remotely on the designing every page. It must have been 5-6 days a week from like 3 p.m. till 8 or 9 p.m. Like we'd break for dinner, then go back at it, and man, it was
a long process.
Yeah.
But we got there.
So I know that I believe it was over 100 additional pictures. Am I right? Am I saying that? Or about 100?
Yeah, got to be at least. Yeah.
Very, very large amount, because I was actually going through and looking through and even starting to look at page numbers, and it ended up being additions of pages, I think, at times because of that, because you do see some of the same pictures, but the layout completely changed at times, and added, I want to say almost like instead of being like pointing it, here's the picture dedicated to this page, it had more of like a fluid movement to it. So as you would navigate through the paragraphs, you could also navigate and kind of follow through the progress of pictures. It was kind of nice the way it stitched things along. If that's coming out.
Yeah, right. It's good to hear you say that, because that was the intent. We wanted, the narrative and the visuals to kind of work with each other and take you through the stories. And, I think we succeeded in doing that with a lot less distraction in the new edition.
The original edition, it was one thing Paul and I would talk about a lot, was how when you open it, I love the way it looks, but your eye almost doesn't know where to go. There's so much to take in every spread. And that was my goal when I wanted fans to see everything that I found. I wanted it to be kind of in your face and this, just giant scrapbook of stuff everywhere. And the new edition, I wanted to be a little more toned down. And I wanted, when you open up a new page, I wanted your eye to know right where to go. And I wanted, like I said, that separation between the photos and the text.
We still retained a little bit of that look.
With
some of the images, on angles, some of the snapshots and things.
I would say it's heavily illustrated, but not scrapbooky like the original.
Right.
I love the layout of both books. I have the best of both worlds. I go to the original for the first. The new layout is terrific. I love the flow of the book is fantastic. When it shows the production and how it, you did it in the order of production of the film, which was, and the amount of photos are just it's staggering, the amount of information for a Jaws fan like me. It's like wow, it is the Bible. I'm sorry, it is. It's the ultimate resource.
Well, bless you.
Jaws fan. It really is, man. And kudos to you both. And like I said, thanks. You did a terrific job.
Thank you.
Well, and to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm being a little selfish when I say this, but I've always been an enormous Jaws fan, and finally ventured over to the island way back, 2015, 2016. Took my son up there. I hadn't been up to the Cape since I was first married, long time ago. And so we ventured back up, and I wanted to hop over to the island literally just for a day to check it out. I knew it had been shot there. And my entire family and I, my wife and my son and I, have fallen in love with the island. We go back every other year. We were up this summer for 3 weeks. I was up in June. And so the personal connection and the personal photos is what draws me in. Don't get me wrong, I love the production stuff, but some of the shots that you had in the original book, and then some of the additions that you put in, to me, that is so cool, because you're getting that you're getting that view and you're getting that perspective of someone who happened to be there, not necessarily someone who maybe worked for Universal or something along those lines. And so that was always just really kind of left a big impression upon me. And I have a few of the pictures that you had sent to me, and it's just some striking photos.
Yeah, so that's one. I sent you some of the new ones. That's a newly discovered one, and that's a great photo. I mean, that
incredible.
almost could be like a cover photo, almost. Not quite the right. It's not quite the right angle, but yeah, that's Michael. That came from Roy Campbell was the captain of the Whitefoot, which was a tugboat out on set. There was like the support boat that they all ate on, and a lot of lights and cameras are often set up on the Whitefoot. There are a lot of pictures of the Whitefoot throughout the book, which I'm sure you've seen. And this came from the niece of Roy Campbell, who was the captain, like I say, of the Whitefoot. This came from Roy's album, his Jaws album.
Oh,
and
wow.
I guarantee Roy was like 65 when they made the movie. I guarantee Roy wasn't way up on the mast like that above Michael Chapman's camera operator, but he must have given his camera to somebody to take that picture, thinking he would make a good one. And boy, it sure did.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
Those are the real actors, right? That's the three of them, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it's Michael Chapman, the camera operator, and I can't imagine whoever, he's pretty high up, that whoever took that picture has to be like right at the tippity top of the mast.
Wow. Oh, great picture.
My question is, you saw how hard that boat was dragged backwards through the water. What it was like standing on top of that mast, having that boat dragged backwards through the water. That must have been a rough ride, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hang on, we're going for a ride.
All right, this one I sent you. It's interesting. I mean, so the feud between Dreyfuss and Shaw is legendary, right? Look at the look on Shaw. Look at how they're looking at each other. Look.
So I wonder if this coincides with the story that Richard would always tell about the only time that he lost his temper was when he said, Richard, help me. I took his glass and threw it over in the water.
Yeah, I think so, because that was because he said that a few minutes later when they did another take, Robert picked up the fire hose and blasted it right at him, right? Because they were
shot him in the face with it.
They were filming that scene right there.
Yeah.
And that moment was actually captured, which blew my mind when I found the picture.
Wow. Unbelievable picture.
This also came from Roy Campbell's album.
Wow.
Are these in the new book? These pictures?
This one is not.
Oh wow.
Interesting. And Paul, on your side of things, I mean, incredible photos, but it sounds to me like a lot of these were photos like people had in photo albums or someone had in a shoebox under the bed. What was it like on your end of things to really get these photos to really click and to be able to match well to the already existing book? It had to be quite an undertaking at times, I'm sure.
It definitely was. There was a lot of work done on many of the photos in the book. Even some of the photos that appeared in previous editions, we tried to clean up a little bit more and do some work on. And actually, since the early days of working on these photos, things have progressed so rapidly with AI that now, I mean, if I were given the same task again, we probably could have even improved yet again on some of these because of how quickly AI technology is moving.
Yeah, one example of what Paul's talking about, this photo right here, the original photo has a lot of blemishes and stains all over the water. It was not usable at all. And Paul was able to get rid of all that and restore the water back to its original state without affecting. I didn't want, we didn't mess with the people or anything like that. We just messed with we cleaned up blemishes and coffee stains and color issues and blotches and things
cracks,
like that.
Cracks in the old photos and tears and things like that.
Matt, were you working with the photos or did you have access to negatives too?
This time around, I had access. Well, yeah, I had some slides, some Kodachrome slides I was working with. But this is a great photo. This came from a woman in Connecticut named Tracy, who was 10 years old and vacationing on the island with her family and on State Beach. It just happened to be there the days they were filming the Pipit sequence. And her dad took all these pictures and she had them. And she I think I met her when she commented it on a local article in the local vineyard paper about Jaws, and she commented on something pertaining to the article, then mentioned in her comment that I have pictures. And so I found her, and she said, "You can have them if you'd like." And I said, "Okay," but this is Pippet with her owner Stephen Potter waiting between takes, and you can look out in the water and you can see Jim Contner, the assistant camera operator, standing next to the camera on the tripod in the water, and Spielberg in the boat with the blue T-shirt.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So they're
Impressive.
filming that shot where you see Pippet running along the shore.
Yeah, get ready to throw the stick.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is a good example of a shot that, needed a little color correction and just a little sharpening up. The horizon is crooked, so on shots like this, I would straighten that and, just not change any of the elements, the main elements in the image, just make it better, And so there was a lot of that going through. And on some pages, we might extend the water out to the left, for instance, and have it fade out into white where we had copy going over it, that type of thing.
Sure.
So
here was another one you sent me. I would assume that might this even be from the same stack of photos that you.
This is also from Tracy. Yeah, her dad took this one too. Yeah, same day.
Wow. Wow.
That's of course Stephen up on the platform, and
Sure.
I believe she was. There were two things. They were filming part of when she was there on the beach. They were filming the Pippet sequence and not the dolly shot, but part of that sequence where Roy's in the chair talking to his wife, and she's saying, "You're uptight," and rubbing his shoulders.
Wow.
So there are pictures of that. Nice new color pictures that I got from Tracy of that as well. Not the dolly shot, but Roy in the chair with Lorraine, and then these with Pippet. They're filming Pippet right here.
Wow. And Paul, as we talk about this and what you guys did, finding the photos and then trying to bring these up, to standard to fit in the book, I have to think back and reminisce to the technology and the cameras that we had back then and how crappy they were, for lack of a better term, because people weren't all running around on the beach with 35 millimeter,
exactly
Canon cameras. I mean, remember the little Instamatics with the little globe flash on the top that would stand?
Yeah.
110 cameras, yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean, some of that stuff
with a little square format.
Yeah.
3 photos from those cameras.
Oh yeah.
We had some of those we were working with.
Jeez, yeah. My grandmother still had the old one that you looked through the sight glass at the top that you held with the strap around your neck. You know what I mean? Because she thought it was something that she had. And then I remember the first, what were they called? You take the picture and you would pull the picture out the bottom. And you had to sit there and go like this. The first Polaroids would come out, and dear God, you saw those when they were 5 years old, and everything looked yellow and washed out. I can only imagine what it's like 50 years later. So so impressive. Yeah, very much. And but yeah, so you guys really displayed some incredible differences. And one of the neat things that I saw, and to be honest with you, I took like 10 videos of different. I kept finding different sections of the book, going, "Oh my gosh, look at these pictures!" Look. So I'm not going to kill you guys with 10 different videos, but one of the other big changes that I noticed that really stood out was the ending that you put in there that you had Wendy do, which I thought was pretty impressive. I took a quick video of that, but just the last few pages, if you don't mind, I'm going to play that real quick, and maybe we can kind of start to roll into this incredible edition that has just come out. Okay, let me pull that in real quick here. And again, if you want to talk over, go ahead. I have no audio on this whatsoever, but just really illustrates my fundamental skills here. Seeing those, illustrating some of those differences. Let me get that out of there. And add.
But I like that picture.
Yeah, hold on a second. sick thing here. Why is this not
I
coming
like
in?
that
Okay, there it is.
picture.
Sorry, I'll have to go in there and edit that. Here we get it from the beginning.
Oh,
There we go.
wow.
All right. Yeah, I mean, wait till you see. Yeah, it's so here. You see how he's talking about the changes and the retouching and how he changed the layout and the differences to it. It really, and I keep my book in amazing shape. Nothing gets damaged on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sit out in the sun, and you could just see just the way it stands out in the difference. The bottom is the new edition, and wait till you see the ending with Benchley. It's really well. That's a great. And you can see the Bruce's mouth in the background. So that's where the original book ends, and then here you go. You have the afterwards is just great. Nice little read.
Yeah, she did a great job with that.
She really did. Yeah. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendy's great.
He is. We had her on the show about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just an amazing woman. Such a kind woman. We met her by happenstance. We did the show at the Vineyard Haven Museum on the 19th. We were the kickoff for the 50th, and she just happened to be standing in the hallway and just kind of wandered in, and she was like everyone's favorite mom. She just walked up to you and talked to you. She's just an incredible lady. She said, "Hey, what are you guys doing in there?" And she came in and shook hands, and just a wonderful lady. Yeah, very nice.
Well, fun story about Wendy. When I first met her, she had just started coming to Martha's Vineyard for the summer around the time the book was released. I hadn't met her until after it came out, and she got a hold of me through, I guess, a mutual acquaintance or something, and I forget how. And I went over to her, asked me to come over to her rental house in Vineyard Haven, where she was staying with her husband John, and thinking, wanted me to sign a couple books for her kids, and it ended up being like 35 or 40 books. I walked over there and I absolutely couldn't believe the pile of books on our dining room table.
Wow.
Which I thought was the coolest thing, because I was autographing books to all of her and Peter's kids, and it was just really fun. And at one point we ran out of books, and she was thinking about more people she wanted to give the book to for Christmas and whatnot. So she gave me some money and asked me to go down the road to the bookstore, and I just bought them out. I bought out the entire stock, and they had a lot on hand too. And I came back with another 10 or 15 books and signed those, and that was a fun day. That was the day I met Wendy. Yeah, I was signing like 50 books at her dining room table.
Well, talk about going full circle.
How can you say no to Wendy Benchley?
Could you guys have any more of a better compliment? Wendy Benchley, wife of the author of Jaws, is coming back around with your autograph on your book. I mean, if that's not the best compliment or the best pat on the back, I mean, I don't know what else could be. So impressive.
Yeah,
Both you.
that was really cool. I mean, because I was such a big, I was a huge Peter Benchley fan when I was a kid, not just because of Jaws, but his other novels back in the 70s and early 80s. I loved Peter Benchley. So that was a trip, getting to know her, just because, well, we all, anybody who grew up reading the novel Jaws, what are the first words you see when you open the cover?
Well, Wendy, yeah.
For Wendy.
Yeah,
so
for Wendy, yeah.
Getting to know Wendy was really cool.
So Matt, that was the first edition, right?
Yeah, that was actually in July of 2011, right after it came out. She had me over to do that, to sign those. But it might not have been 50. I said 50. It might have been more like 30 books or 35 or something. But it was a lot. It was fun.
Can I just say one thing? I think I misspoke earlier when I was talking about this book.
Sure.
I just want to give a shout out to my cousin Sharon, who bought this for me when we were browsing together at the Bunch of Grapes bookstore. I don't think I mentioned that.
Oh, nice.
So I want to give a shout out to her.
Wow.
Very cool.
That's a great store.
Yeah.
I've always loved that store.
Yeah, there and Matt down at Edgartown Books. That's another great one. Yeah, I like going in there too. Yeah, great places. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for Matt. Matt, did you learn anything new about Jaws putting together the new book?
Everything that's in the book. Literally every word and sentence in the book. Yeah, it was all new to me. I didn't know any of that stuff before I began compiling the information.
Yeah.
No, I mean the new edition between
Oh, the new
the
edition.
older edition and the new one. Yeah, like did you learn anything new?
Oh God, yeah, yes. Offhand, I can't right now. I can't think offhand which.
Well, there's always something new. There's always something new to learn about Jaws, right? Even to this day, we're all learning more about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have
Well,
to think
and-
of what are the facts that came to me for the new edition. Yeah, offhand, I
Big deal,
can't
man.
recall which ones
I mean-
exactly are new.
Well, and when you're in that process, I'm sure when you're going over those nuanced details, you have so many filtering through. So latching on to a couple particular ones on this file like that, I mean, completely understandable. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and just the fact you're able to uncover new pieces, and this is what I was trying to explain this to both Paul and I was trying to explain this to Matt. This is what we thrive on when we see these uncovered things that have never seen the light of day, or hear about these little connections and these little stories. We've all seen the same thing that has been officially press released for the last 50 years. We've all talked about it. We've all hatched over it. We all have our own opinions on things. But when we see these little new personal connections or new things that have never seen daylight, it is like a shiny new toy. I mean, it really is. Truthfully, it's like you uncovered something, and this is mine. I now know about this, and so at least myself and for many around it, when they hear something like that, or see something new, it's the ooh and the ah, and that's what's so fun about it.
Yeah,
Keep
thanks.
Yeah.
That's what makes it.
Yeah.
That's what that book is meant. This is why we're experts now. Is because of Matt's book.
Hey,
It was like a
not
study
yet.
guide for us.
Yeah,
That is not a discounted fact. So, well, you know what?
No, it's not.
We have been talking about the. Let me pull that out there. I apologize. So we've been talking about the updated version that came out, but yet there's this newer, bigger edition that we are all really excited about, and that is
the
this
deluxe
guy right
edition.
here. Yes, this is the deluxe edition, and for you guys at home, this is brand new. This just came out. I think just went on sale in the last few
last week.
weeks.
Last week.
Okay, last week. Okay, I was thinking too. Okay, so can you guys maybe just kind of give us a little bit of info without giving too much about this, because this thing we have a little surprise. We're gonna unbox one of these live tonight, but can you give me a little
So we in 2011 we did a deluxe edition. We had a deluxe edition. Michael held one up a few minutes ago. The original 2011 deluxe edition, which came with a little piece of the Orca 2, or AKA sinking Orca, right? And when the publisher asked me if I had any ideas about what would make a deluxe edition special this time around, or should we do one? Is there anything we could include with it? Or we didn't want to do the Orca again, although there are still pieces of it. It was possible, but we felt like we had kind of been there, done that. My original idea was, let's do a deluxe edition that comes with a piece of the mechanical shark gear, which I know where there's some on Martha's Vineyard, where there's some remnants of it, and in like a booklet about how the shark operated. And my thinking was it could come with now I can't remember if it's pneumatic or hydraulic. I want to say pneumatic. The pneumatic hosing that went from the control barge to the shark. It's all kind of buried in the sand on property that Lynn and Susan Murphy owned. And when the tide is low and if the conditions are right, you can see it jutting up out of the sand, and then it's gone again for a while. Then you'll see it again, but it's all still down there. And I thought, okay, I'll go down to the beach and I'll dig until I find it, and I'll bring it up and I'll cut it into little pieces. And the book about the shark will come with a piece of the hosing. I thought that was a cool idea, and I'll come with like schematics and diagrams about how the shark worked and what those hoses did. And I thought that would be really cool. But it's a really difficult property to get to. You kind of have to have a boat, and the tide has to be just right. And I didn't really feel like digging in the sand. And so
we're getting a tetanus shot from all the sharp objects in the metal that happen to be there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff jutting up. Yeah, a lot of rusty pieces of metal out there, and there's all kinds of Jaws stuff on that beach still, pieces of the control barge, and it's all still there under the sand. But then I thought, I knew that a couple of the pilings were still jutting up out of the beach at Hearthaven on the property that Paul's grandfather owned, where the dock scene was filmed. And so that's when I thought I think that would be easier, and easier to get to certainly than the remote beach where the Murphys had all that junk. So eventually the idea became that the book would come with the book would come with a booklet about the making of the dock scene and an actual piece of one of the remaining pilings.
Wow.
Of the dock that was built for the movie. And so I got permission from the property's current owner. In the process, I met Paul. And I went down there with Eric Ropke, is a local carpenter at Martha's. He's a builder at Martha's Vineyard.
The
And he
hippie
worked-
with the hammer.
Hippie with a hammer. He worked on Jaws and a lot of scenes. He built a lot of the props for the movie, including the breakaway transom that the shark crashes through at the end of the movie. Eric built like 5 or 6 of them, made out of balsa wood. He also built the breakaway portion of the dock. Now I can't remember if he built the whole dock or just the breakaway portion of the dock. But anyway, he built the dock for the breakaway dock scene, and it was really cool to take Eric down. He hadn't been to that beach in at that time 49 years, and we went down there with my chainsaw. We went down there with a shovel and a chainsaw and his power saw, and we cut a big hole. I dug a big hole around one of the pilings and dug down, and then chainsawed it out. And he took it back to his shop and manufactured them into the little pieces of wood that come with the new deluxe edition with a booklet about the scene. So the guy that manufactured those pieces of wood built the dock for the movie.
It's great.
That's awesome. Wow.
That's
The same guy whose hands created that also then
Cut it up.
helped with this addition to this book. That's pretty cool.
And the guy that designed it grew up on the property and actually fished off that dock as a kid.
That's
So-
me.
That's yeah.
And the funny thing is,
I didn't want to let it go, but I didn't own it anymore. So,
Paul, I interviewed Paul for the booklet. You see there on the left that it says the breakaway dock. That little booklet has a whole bunch of information about the making of the scene. And I interviewed Paul in it, and he has a funny quote about how he and his sister would go fishing off the dock, but they never actually caught anything. They had better luck in the movie.
That's incredible. And Paul, I think we need to get to an unboxing here because we have an unboxing of this book we're going to do live tonight, brand new, still sealed up. But Paul, you told me a fun story how you went down, you were sitting on the dock, and you guys were watching what you thought was what they called the garage sale, which was the barge, the control barge. Am I right?
Yeah, so in the summer of '74, and it must have been August, we would go sit on the dock with binoculars and just watch what was going on out on the water, a few hundred yards out there, and we couldn't really tell what was happening, but there was always this activity out there for weeks on end, Matt could probably tell you on those dates what they were filming, but I don't know what they were filming. I mean, it was obviously the scenes in the second half of the movie, but I don't know. But it was just interesting watching.
Yeah. So most of the third act was for people that don't know, most of the third act was shot just a couple miles off the beach where the dock was pulled into the water. The Holiday Roast scene.
Yeah, I don't even think it was miles. I think it was, maybe a half a mile.
Oh, were that close?
But they were pretty close. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well, yeah, they would move
It
around
might
a
have been
little
a
bit,
mile.
but
I don't know.
Yeah.
depending on what they were filming, they would move around a bit out there. Would that be called Cow Bay? Would that be considered Cow Bay straight out
I
there,
was going to say, isn't that Cow Bay?
or was that Nantucket Sound? Which is it, Paul?
Nantucket Sound.
Okay.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And I was going to say there is only so much surface area there because from where you were, Paul, you can sightline the very end of Chappaquiddick. It's way
That's
off in the
correct.
distance.
Yep.
You can sightline the end of Chappaquiddick, and if
Right.
if you zoom in with a phone, you can just make out the lighthouse there.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
seen it
and
from the
I
sea,
think
from the seawall many times.
somebody once told me that was 7 miles from the beach where we used to hang out to
Yeah.
the point in Chappaquiddick,
Across. Yeah.
across there. So, like, if you can imagine sitting on that beach and seeing that point kind of coming in from the right, a little bit to the left of that, maybe on the horizon, maybe halfway over, is where the Jaws activity was taking place.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it may have been more than a mile. I don't know. It wasn't that far though, because we could watch them with binoculars.
Oh, one cool thing about Paul's grandfather's house, which you can see all throughout that scene up behind the Charlie and Denher on the dock, is the house. And they filmed that third week of May when it was still quite cold. And the very next thing they filmed after the holiday roast scene was Menemsha, Quint's shack. And so Robert Shaw arrived on the island when they were filming the breakaway dock scene. And the very first place he went to when he arrived at Martha's Vineyard was the house, was Paul's grandfather's house. Paul's grandparents weren't there, they hadn't arrived yet for the summer. So his grandfather had told the studio they could kind of use it as a hangout, and just so the studio did. The crew would all hang out there and probably make their meals there and get warm in the house. And so that's where Robert Shaw, in that house and on that property, is where Robert Shaw met with the wardrobe department and determined what Quint was going to look like on camera.
Yeah.
My gosh.
And there's a cool picture in the book right there of Robert.
Yeah,
that
Robert is the picture. I was looking. That's, oh my God.
That's Robert on the lawn of the Hardhaven house with Richard Zanuck.
No kidding.
So Robert Shaw was even present for the filming of some of that scene.
I'm glad you mentioned that,
yeah.
Matt. I had a note to mention that, but I forgot.
Oh yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
See, this is when that star needs to go by and goes, the more you know.
Yeah. This is Paul. This is when I become insanely jealous of you now. So I just wanted to put that out there. Float that out there.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about how Paul?
If only I had a time machine that I could go back to May of '74 and just hang out. Paul's
grandparents or family members did have an album. I guess apparently, right? One relative was around taking pictures, and it went missing, right? The album through the years.
Yeah, I don't think we had any photos of that scene being filmed. We certainly had a lot of photos from the mid '70s, but
sure.
I don't think anybody in our family was there to take pictures.
Right.
So, unfortunately, we don't have anything.
Oh, I mean, but the stories and the connections that you have, I mean, that just blows you. You were telling me about that on the phone. I was like, you're kidding me. Like, you have to share this. I mean, this is just incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I believe we have a book waiting, sealed up in a box that I think a lot of us want to see. So
let's have a look, Val.
Yes, Val ordered. So Val,
I'm dying to see this thing.
Bring in your other camera there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that up full screen, Val. If I can bring that up full screen.
I'm going to mute myself here so we don't have an echo, and then I'm going to.
Not a problem. All right, we got you there, bud.
Don't hear an echo.
Let me take this down a while. All right. So Val's going to be unboxing this for us to show you guys what you can be expecting here. First of all, man, they really wrapped that sucker well. There you go. It is quite the box. Looks like there's a mattress in there for like a college student. Look at the size of that thing. That's impressive.
It's not
I know.
IKEA.
Yeah, don't break that, Val.
Yeah, don't break the
Don't christen
line.
the book. Yeah. This is called. We're going to call this portion "Christmas at Val's House." Oh wow, that looks. Look at that.
Wow.
That comes in a steel.
Oh,
That comes in a,
wow.
That's a steel
That's
case.
beautiful.
Right,
The wrong music.
Wow. That thing's impressive. Very nice. Get that thing out of plastic, Matt. Or we got to see that thing.
I love the cover.
Nice.
Wow, that is awesome.
That is yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, look at the cover art. Jeez.
Wow.
Bruce himself.
Wow. Star.
Try and pull him back in there. There's the breakaway dock piece. Oh wow.
There it is. That's beautiful.
That is impressive. And that is not the entire book. That is just the insert with background, and maybe perhaps Matt and Paul, you guys could talk a little bit about. There's actually a write-up on the process of adding the dock piece. Am I right?
Okay.
Yeah, so
That
this
is
is a
beautiful.
12-page insert with the story of the whole scene.
Mhm.
And additional photos in there.
Wow.
And yeah, there's
Oh,
a
wow.
photo on the bottom of the left-hand page. It's Eric and me on the beach cutting the piling out.
Oh, you can see it. Yeah, it's right by Val's thumb.
Nice.
Oh, no kidding.
And that's a cool
So
photo.
cool.
On that, the
So
big
cool.
color photo on the left-hand page there is them filming the dock piece turning around to come back after Charlie.
Yes.
That's a great shot, and that I would have used that in the book, but I didn't discover it until after the book was done and we were working on the companion book.
Wow. Impressive.
Wow.
Golly.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. I mean that just that insert alone. I mean that's amazing. Wow. Yeah, there's the actual dot.
Oh, and
Piece of
Eric
dot.
signed it. Nice.
Yeah, even signed. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
Amazing.
Impressive. Unbelievable. Awesome.
That is very, very nice. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Deluxe.
I'll tell you, you guys knocked it out of the park with that thing, and it arrives in its own steel hardcover case, which entails the book. Correct?
Yep.
Nate, can you
Well,
see me?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay.
You're good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have you, Matt. You're here.
Okay.
Thank you, Val, for unboxing that.
Thanks for waiting, Val.
Yeah.
That
I love it. Look at that.
is awesome. That is incredible.
It is
Wow.
fantastic.
That
This
is-
little this part of it right here, and like just touching that,
That alone is
touching
just,
Jaws on touching it.
there you go.
I
I'm touching it.
I am number 147 of 500. So
Nice.
that's
And that's,
there's only 500 copies of this available.
I was going to say, that's something of importance. So the edition that Val just unboxed has Matt and Paul. This isn't something that's going to be in circulation for terribly long. I mean, this is a very limited version of this book, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
500.
Yeah.
I know a few people that bought it already. Some of our members bought it. I know Jamie Saunders bought it, and my
Yeah.
sister-in-law,
Mark
another
Fitzgibbons bought a copy.
he just ordered it. It took a week. I thought it was going to take a month to get here when I ordered it from England. It took only a week to get here. So I was very happy to get it so fast.
Impressive.
Good
So
to
you
know.
guys at home, listen to that. It literally 500 copies being produced, and that's it. Now if you want the hardback updated edition, this copy here, this you can get readily available. In fact, I'll be posting links for all of this after the show tonight. But the Ultimate Edition, the one that Val just unboxed for you, that is a very limited run. So if it's something you're interested in, I'll post the link and show you where to go to get it. You guys are going to want to get your hands on this, especially with the holiday coming up, because I can't imagine that thing's going to sit around very long. With what you did with the updates, with the personal touches, and then I mean, my gosh,
Sturdy.
part of the Jaws set, yeah. I mean,
So
just the case
sturdy.
alone, yeah.
That I
And the
love.
fact that there's
I love the
the physical part of the set is a
I love
part of
the-
the book.
The new cover is great too. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is awesome.
unbelievable, incredible book.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Thank you.
Val, you better
I'm
sleep
glad
it
I
up
like
in your pillow tonight. Very impressive.
So I just got my copies a few days ago. So Val got his before I got mine.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I ordered it the minute I heard about it. The minute it popped up on my feed, I ordered it right away. I emailed Titan Books to see how long it would take. They said, they say 14 to 28 days, but it might come sooner. Got it in a week, man. It was
Yeah. Well, I'm very happy with the way that turned out.
He'll be
did a
sleeping
great,
with
Titan did a
his
great job
pillow.
with the packaging. And,
Yeah.
such an awesome display. It's nice and sturdy. I don't have to worry about it getting damaged.
Mhm.
Oh.
Change to your list.
what do you think of the Jaws logo in white on the cover? That was kind of
I love it.
that was a
It's-
tip of the hat to the original novel, the hardback
I
novel.
was going to
with-
say
where it's in white.
to the book, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to the original book, yeah.
It looks great.
Very cool.
Yep.
It was
Wonderful
originally in
job.
red, and I thought we could.
Gentlemen, wonderful.
It's worth every penny. Every penny.
Definitely an iconic piece of history you got going on there. Incredible.
And this little see, limited to 500.
There you go.
hmm
And each one is signed. That's impressive. Yeah.
Gonna build a man just for that.
I was going to say that definitely the centerpiece, or or the cornerstone of anyone's collection,
Oh yeah,
without a doubt. Without a
that's
doubt.
great.
And Matt, where can we find this book? We want to get our hands on this, guys.
The deluxe
Yes.
is available through our publisher Titan and Forbidden Planet. You said
Yeah.
you have a link. I think you can post, right?
Yeah, I have a link. I'll be posting the link after the show across all of our pages, so that way everybody has access. And
Yeah,
then
The deluxe edition is available only via Titan and Forbidden Planet, and the trade edition, I would say, at your local bookstore or Amazon.
Yep.
okay, so that also available then at Amazon. So you guys at home hear that. And what I'll do is I will put up links for all the editions. So this would be the updated hardback edition. What you see here,
The
which you
trade
can get.
edition. Trade edition, yeah.
Yes, the trade edition done through Amazon or through a lot of your local bookstores. But then the ultimate edition, that is the one that we were just witnessing there with Val. That's going to be limited run, only available through the company, through Titan Books. And like I said, I will be posting a link. There's Val holding the book, and there's the promo shots of the case with the book and with the insert of the doc. And wow, you guys have got to be number one, very tired because you put together an amazing update and an amazing edition. You right? I mean, yeah.
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 I have a question, Matt. Is there any plans to release a Kindle version or an e-version of the book? Anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of. It's an interesting idea. I don't know. I'm not sure if the publisher has any plans to do that or not at this point.
Because I know there's some similar, like a Star Wars, like it's a Star Wars book that's a huge book also, and that was available through Kindle, through like an e version of it. So
yeah, I've often thought it would make a great audio book. It would play almost like a documentary with the.
Oh, that'd be a good idea. Yeah.
We can hope. Maybe it's in the future. We can hope.
And the 75th is right around the corner.
Well,
so
all
we'll
I
see what I
can
have in store for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Now we're talking 75th anniversary edition.
I was gonna say for the 50th anniversary, man, I don't think of any other book that could really just honor that film than this that you've just released that we just opened. I mean, that just tops the whole cake over this whole past year with this one. So
and the holiday season is here. I mean, it's here. So
Thank you.
Looking to get your hands on these things, get them. Yeah, you
guys.
Nate,
now you know what I want for Christmas.
Yes, me too. You know what I want? I want Val's address. That's what I want.
I'm looking forward to reading through this. I'm really interested in reading through this whole little.
Yeah, that came out well.
It's good. I reread it earlier today, actually.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
I'm telling you, yeah. Val's address, a crowbar, and a black cap. That's all I need for Christmas.
There it is.
It's a good picture. Wow.
There's a good shot of my grandfather's house in there. I think it's on the second page.
That maybe?
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? Here, let me pull you in there, Val.
Yeah.
There it is. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh wow, beautiful home.
Yeah. That's a great photo. The cover photo.
Yeah.
Really is.
That is so awesome.
That's a good one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, you can hear the lines of it. Yeah,
they were those two guys, Edward Chambers and Robert Chalmers, or the other way around. Robert Chalmers and Edward Chambers. I'm not sure where, but they were two of the they were not vineyard guys. They were they
were union workers. They were actual.
The production famously hired mostly islanders to act in those types of roles, but they those two particular actors were Boston SAG. They came from Boston.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's that piece again.
Nice.
Yeah, we do have to see that up close. Oh wow! There you go. And individually numbered and signed. Yep. Impressive. Awesome. Great.
I want to.
Well, gentlemen, we want to we want to thank you for sharing your love and putting it out there for the rest of us to experience and enjoy as well.
Thank you.
Matt,
thank you.
Regardless of the edition, it's always been something that has been very important to many of us, and the fact that you're able to provide us with an updated version and now yet this ultimate edition. And Paul, your work is nothing short of genius, going through and looking at what you've done with some of these photos and some of the updates, and you guys working together on the layout. You can tell this was, number one, a very large labor, but also a bit of, you could see it was a bit of a labor of love going on there. And really want to applaud you guys for that.
Absolutely.
So you really put something out there for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Sure. And from now on, when I take someone down to show them the house and say, look, see that? You can see we made just about what's left of some of the breakaway dock scene. I'm going to say, and I know the guy that used to live in that house. So that's going to be how I end that story from now on.
Exactly.
I wish I still did. I mean, the new owners have done an amazing job renovating that house. It is absolutely gorgeous now. I mean, it
really
was
is.
then too, but they've taken it up another notch.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, last time we were there, actually walked someone over there. They were dredging and redoing the first bridge right there with the
Yeah.
waterway they were working on. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to walk over. And it's fenced off right there. Obviously, it's private, and then I wasn't going to trespass. So we was just enough. The workers had just finished up for the day. We could just walk down between the mounds of sand and the fence, and they could point out. So there it is. It's right there. Look at the frame of the film, and you can see the house in the background. And you see the remnants down by the water. And yeah, it's always a stop that I like to show people. So cool that you get pulled into this and you have that personal connection. I mean, it really, really is. Yeah. Yeah. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Love it. Almost like it was meant to be,
Well, thanks for
Serendipitous.
having us on and all the nice things you said about
Yeah, I
the book.
appreciate that.
Glad you like it.
And listen, yeah, very much, I mean, exact everything that I'm saying. We all feel that way. That's why we felt so strong about trying to get you guys come on here and share this with us. So I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. I know we've been on for a pretty extensive amount of time, but just all very enthralled with the information and being able to see the book and knowing that it's out there. And Val was able to get his hands on one. It's just incredible. So I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. I want to thank everyone at home for watching. And as we leave, we have a little tradition here. I don't know if you guys are aware of. So we don't say goodbye here. We do a quick little fins up. This is what we do here. So if you guys want to join in, if you don't want to, that's fine. Or just don't share the link with your family members and tell them how to do this.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So
Talk to you guys later.
we'll let Quinn take us out as we always do. And everyone at home, thank you for joining us. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so nevermore shall we see you again.
Good night.